Yeah, Wednesday. What's up, everybody? Wednesday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. I hope everybody had a great Tuesday as we saw some pretty interesting movements in our equity markets. We saw the reversals, one reversal work, one reversal fail. We saw a breakout trade. We saw 6-candle rule. It was quite a busy day yesterday, as we did see a little bit of movements from our intraday trading opportunities. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor. Click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts, the updates, and all those fun things as they happen. And then if you are a returning visitor, yesterday's question of the day was, what commodities do you trade? Today, I'm going to ask you this. Do you look at currency pairs? We don't look at currency pairs here in the Daily Market Commentary every day, but I do find it interesting to see what currency pairs somebody might look at. So leave that in the comment section down below. I'd love to put that comment in. So let's go ahead and start off with the S&P. So we're up 13 points this morning from yesterday's close, but what we're really looking at was from the reversal trade that we had identified yesterday in our daily market commentary. So if you can see this, we've picked up about 45 points off of our daily market commentary level from yesterday. Now we're starting to get a little bit of stall as it's continuing to rally, but we are getting a little bit of stall in here. So a really nice move up. If you took this trade and you're still in the position, which there's no reason not to still be in the position, if you're still in the trade, I would take your stop at least and move it up to 30.73. You've got a decent little level of demand right here that makes sense to take your stop and move it up, lock in about 25 points worth of profit, and allow price to continue to run in a trail stop fashion. So that one has moved up really, really well. Now, where else might I have a chance later today? Well, if I look for later today an opportunity, my next level of demand isn't until up here, or excuse me, supply. My next level of supply isn't until up in this region here at 32, call it 32.20. So that would be my next area to look for a short opportunity. Now, we are coming into some area where we may stall out a bit on the 4-hour. I'm going to zoom in on this area over here. So that's not where I meant it to zoom. Hold on a moment. All right. I want to zoom in on that area. There we go. So looking at this area here, we are coming close. You know, we're sitting right below this area right here. And this area right here, now this isn't a quality supply zone because this is a retest of this area here to the left, which was a retest of this area over here to the left, right? And so if I look further left, you can see that we're in that zone right now. So it's not a spot that I'm looking to really get short. However, I think that, you know, on the hourly chart, we do have some room for price to continue to run higher. So, if you wanted if we get a little bit more basing, you may get a breakout opportunity for price to continue to run higher above where we are right now on a little bit of a pullback even into this area here where we talked about moving your stop up to. You may get another reversal as well. Now, the NASDAQ, so the S&P, this level worked really well. The NASDAQ, it failed. And this is a great picture of why we look at both markets, right? And this level in the NASDAQ failed for a small loss. But if you take the small loss in the NASDAQ and combine that with the win in the S&P, you're doing very, very well, right? And that's exactly the kind of trades that I'm okay with. I'm all right with getting stopped out if it's got a chance to continue to run in the right market environment. And so a little stop out in this case, but now we see that there's an opportunity for price to continue to break higher from this region of above this 96, 97 area. Now going over to the 4-hour over here. On the 4-hour, we are coming into our all-time high. We're closing in on that 97.63 was the all-time high. So closing in on that level. It's not quite there yet, but I think that there's still room to get up to that zone. I said the other day I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, we're getting a little bit of weakness. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback on the hourly chart, or excuse me, on the daily chart, only because when we hit that all-time high, sometimes you're going to get some automatic selling. And so if price does come down into that region or come from that region, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback for an opportunity to get long for then to thrust a bit higher. Now, looking at the Russell, we looked at the Russell yesterday as well. So in our Russell position that we had talked about yesterday, we did get our breakout in the Russell. So we got our reversal trade, which met entry and then rallied up to our breakout area. And then we got our breakout area, which met entry after that point. So if you missed the reversal trade, which worked out for a little bit of a run, you then had an opportunity in the breakout session as prices have now moved up. Now, if you took the breakout trade, I would at this point move your stop up to break even because we have this bit of basing here. Just take your stop and move it to break even at the very least so that you lock in some of that profit. If you grab the reversal, then I would still move your stop up to this breakout point. That way you lock in a fair amount of profit in that trade. So leave me a comment down below. Did you grab any of these trades? Were they something that worked out for you? Next, looking at crude oil. So in our crude positions, we are looking at the September contract. That's the one that we've been really analyzing lately. And in our September contract, this one was a bit frustrating as price came up into the level. We were looking for, let me go back to my 4-hour chart here. I was looking for one more touch. So we got one touch, two touch. So on our second touch, we popped above. So didn't qualify for our breakout trades because we didn't get our third touch. And then it's really, really sold off here just in the overnight sessions. So it's selling off really hard at the moment. Now, it doesn't change our 4-hour upward trend. Matter of fact, just a pretty decent pullback in the direction of our 4-hour upward trend. On the 4-hour, we've got this 3550 area, 3548, 3550 area, where I think we could see a decent reversal. It doesn't really show up as a clean demand area on the hourly, though, aside from this pivot right down in here. So that pivot down in here would be the area to look for a potential reversal as we come back down on the 4-hour. So that looked as a 4-hour flip area, if you will, because it was a breakout area in here, retested, and then an opportunity for price to come back down into here for a reversal. In gold, so in gold we had a long setup, and we got a good arrival into the level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles later, the market had gone nowhere, telling us, okay, time to take our stop and move it to break even, because that's the way we handle our 6-candle rule. Price came back from there and now sold off. And so this is why we have our 6-candle rule in place. And the 6-candle rule is designed to allow us to get out of trades that aren't moving our direction. So if you followed the rules, then this one didn't cost you any money and was just an opportunity to get in, and price just moved away from it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'll take those all day long because, remember, my job is to preserve capital more than look to make a tremendous amount of money. I want to preserve capital because that's how I'm going to become a lot more successful in my trades overall. So we've been talking a lot about using gold for an iron condor. It's still in between our iron condor legs that I've spoken about for a while. If you are not trading options on futures, I will give you a link to where you can watch a free class on options on futures. So we'll provide a link on where you can watch a free class on options on futures, and hopefully that'll get you spurred into something to look at, because gold has been one of them that for the last month has been very, very powerful for options on futures, but without a lot of opportunities in our directional movements. Next, let's move to our bonds and currency markets. So moving into our currencies and bonds, starting with our ZN, we are still in our 4-hour trend of sideways, not a whole heck of a lot happening, price action, although trending now towards the bottom of this channel. So if I were to put kind of a line of control through here, we would see that our line of control is this area right in here. So we are trending to the bottom of this channel, and I think that could lead to a further breakdown from this region before anything else. I'm still not looking for a strong reversal in here, but I am seeing that we're trading to the bottom of that channel a little bit. So keep an eye on that as a potential breakdown looking forward. Next, looking at the Aussie, the Australian dollar, we did come into our supply level yesterday, but we got, as we talk a lot about our 6-candle rule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles later, the market had gone nowhere, and it said, hey, you probably shouldn't be in this thing anymore. And even if you did get in, it was a confirmation entry only because we're in such a big upward trend, right? So that area would move off, and now we still have our demand level right here that has a chance for price to trade back into at some point. I think yesterday we talked about the fact that it may not hit yesterday, and it may not hit for a couple of days, but this is a very extended rally on the 4-hour chart. This would be a nice pullback area as an opportunity to get long, so really not adding anything to that chart. In the euro, so our euro level has rallied back up to, let's pull up our daily. This is a 4-hour level on the euro, where we have this area up in here. Now, this could serve as a reversal point. If you want to try to take that one, it's a fairly wide zone. We've still not even traded halfway into the level, but at the very least, it's an opportunity to maybe score a bit of a pullback. And if we do get a bit of a pullback, we have this area here. Whoops, certainly didn't mean to draw that. We have this area here for a potential pullback zone, which is a wick over wick right here around the London Open. So keep an eye on this. It's a slightly unbalanced wick over wick, not the perfect setup, but it is one worth taking a look at. Canadian dollar, same level, pullback area in here as we're seeing this begin to stall up here. Now, is there room to make a decent trade from here all the way down to here? Sure there is, but I will need to have a little bit of basing and a breakdown setup. That's the way that I would trade that. And then moving over to our Great British Pound and Japanese Yen, we did see a breakdown opportunity yesterday in the yen, and that yen breakdown opportunity, we didn't get basing immediately in front of the level, so you may or may not have grabbed this breakdown, although the breakdown was a very effective breakdown. That's the one that we were looking at for a while. And frankly, that breakdown was found on the 4-hour chart. So if I pull back to the 4-hour, that was a 4-hour level right in here. So if you got it, then I would take your stop at this point. For those of you that got into that short, take your stop and move it above these pivots right here, or even above this tweezer top in the overnight pivot area to lock in some pretty good profit. If you missed it, then wait for a retest, and our retest area, this is going to be our most obvious retest area somewhere up in here. In our Great British Pound levels, we are continuing our rally higher in the pound. I think that we have some decent reversal levels down below us. We might get a breakdown below this area here, so keep an eye on this for a breakdown for price to maybe trade into this 24.97 area as a target. That would be of all the currencies, I think that's the one that's setting up for the best breakdown if we get that breakdown at some point today. So if you guys have any questions at all today, please send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Thanks so much for joining us on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. I will talk to you soon. See ya.